So my bad, man. I know I've been bouncing around a lot. So let me just start so I just thought I should share this with anyone who reads this. We have set a record for the number of deaths in Afghanistan since 2001. We are all feeling the pain for every father, mother, brother, sister, husband, wife, son, daughter, and especially the godparents, grandparents, God, right? Um, and then December 15, 2009, laughing my ass off. There is no feeling like getting out of this bitch where you can go back and not have to worry about shit. My first day at the States, I'm, I'm taking a blunt and just sit in my house and take it all in. I don't want no one to bother me after I'm done. There's too much shit I went through in Afghanistan, and just thank to the good Lord that I'm home. Young Waggy, I see you, baby. So, real quick, like, my brother helped me out through this, through helping me out, remembering all this shit, man. So, so I pulled these two posts. So these two posts I pulled from your timeline. It was marked January 17, 2009 and December 2009. You landed in Bagram on October 2008. So by then you were already 14 months under your belt. We got our degrees in May of 2008 out of Bell County. We came to call it Bush University. That's what it's called. I can't disclose the name, but we are the Department of Defense, brother. Um, what that means, I'm not sure if you remember what you were also doing in Iraq besides your primary assignments. So Afghanistan was a cover up, bro. Like I'll explain more to you on everything. But anyways, you're one out of nine command-directed theater accountable officers and has the mission of establishing 100 and maintaining 100% accountability and visibility to all theater provided equipment, installation property and visibility to all GFE, in possession of all contractors per outcome message dated 16 November 2005, 22nd November 2005, and 28 June 2006, from Vice Chief of Staff of the Army. The TBVO enforces Army regulations and implements systematic fixes when necessary and sets policies, provides guidance to the theater, establishes accountability procedures with sister services and coalition services, and is ultimately responsible for all theater provided equipment. In the OIF AOR. In addition to remember, this is Iraq, bro. They have Afghanistan, but I didn't go to Afghanistan. Like I was supposed to go back to Afghanistan, but that's when they switched everything up. So this is Iraq, yeah. So in addition to the theater accountable, I was already in Afghanistan 2 fucking years. Like you know what I'm saying? So this is so now Iraq is in addition to theater accountable officer provides an asset visibility cell that provides accurate and timely property data and reports to HQDA, arson and HQ assigned to. I just read that shit. Dumb. Anyways, now I understand that you don't remember much, but we'll address all that later. For now, just concentrate on a few things, okay? I'm going to answer your questions just before we get started. All those photos you have that say confidential belong to your great grandfather who was in World War II. Those those four photos were all taken in Nazi Germany. You asked, why did a few people have AR in the beginning of their names and others didn't? Why would someone with the same rank outrank by AR1? AR stands for meaning your family has been in previous U.S. wars and made an impact at those wars, as you did in Afghanistan and Iraq. As as we keep moving and putting, I mean, he did too, but I'm saying as we keep moving and putting pieces to get back together, it will become very clear to you, or might just need to remind you a few things, and it might spark something inside. You and I, brothers. So hold on. So, so You and I are brothers. Way before we ever knew each other. Both of our great grandfathers were also officers. Huh. Both of our grandfathers were also officers, and so will our sons, Oscar. That's tradition, brother. And then our sons' sons will also know the importance of serving. Our great grandfathers were one of the very first ones in the Department of Defense when it was created in 1947. Okay, the picture from 1945. Okay, I got you. Half of the guys went to the DOD, the others to the CIA. There was a joke between our great grandfathers. We didn't choose the DOD, the DOD chose us. Plus, the Nazis and other groups were all at the CIA. They laughed and said, "Don't get us wrong. We too had a Nazi overseer, but he was all right. He didn't bust our balls. We looked out. We looked out for him, and he did the same for us. No fucking body touched us under Von Hitler. Like so. I don't know if you're aware, bro, but like Project Paperclip is basically like 2,000 Germans came over to the U.S. and like 2,000 Germans came over went to Russia. Supposedly that we took them from Nazi Germany. Okay, think about that shit, bro. Right now, I'm not gonna get into too much politics because that's not what I do. But I'm saying like then we went in on a space race. Okay, it's like we were able to go to space because of the Germans, and and Russia was able to go to space because of the Germans, and they were able to establish nuclear weapons because of the Germans. Like the one that came up with that whole MC equals square. Who was he? Albert Einstein, right? But he was what? Half Jew and half what? German. Bro, Germans are smart as fuck, dog. Like, man. Anyways, and plus we're fighting against somebody that's been in war for years and years and years. But America just got established, big dog. Like, these motherfuckers have been in war since, man. Look, anyways, that's not my point. But anyways, there's no oversight on us because we are the highest as it gets. We are the ones that conduct all top secret transactions between all contractors, PMs, and military unit commanders, combat military commanders, anything and everything to fight the war. We also give funds and launch investigations. That's your flipples. You are under the Geneva Convention 3. Oh, yeah, hold on. So Geneva Conventions, that's what we just mentioned right now, right here. Uh, Geneva Conventions 3. Okay, so Geneva Conventions 3, warrant officers and commissioned officers below the rank of major or prisoners of equivalent rank, 50 Swiss francs. All right, that's what I would be getting if I would have got captured in Baghdad. Okay, think about that shit, big dog. All right, prisoners ranking below sergeants, 8 Swiss francs. Okay, those are the ones. Those are your laborers. And you have sergeants and other non-commissioned officers. They get 12 Swiss francs. Okay, they're the ones that supervise the laborers. And then falls under me. I get 50 francs, 50 Swiss francs a day, and the sergeants and other they report to me and what's going on every day, like make sure that the prisoners are doing their jobs and shit like that, right? Keep order and shit. And you have your majors, lieutenants, colonels, and then you have your generals, but they only get 60 francs and 75. So from 12 to 50, that's a big fucking jump, big dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I fall into the 50. So coming over here now, Prince's Award granted. Okay, so like, let's see, unless a volunteer. Okay, so prisoners of war right here, bro. So like, plus conditions inferior to enjoy national detaining powers employed by the similar. Okay, taking climate. Okay, the detaining power and utilizing labors of prisoners of war shall ensure that in areas of which prisoners are employed, the national legislation concerning the protection of labor and more particularly the regulations for the safety of workers are duly applied. Prisoners of war shall receive training and be provided with the means of protection suitable to the work they will have to do, and similar to those accorded to the nationals of detaining power. Subject to provisions of Article 52, the prisoners may be substituted to the normal risks run by the civilian workers. Conditions of labor shall in no case be redundant more in disciplinary measures. Unless he be a volunteer, no prisoner of war may be employed on labor which is unhealthy or dangerous nature. No prisoners of war shall be assigned to labor which would be looked upon as humiliating for a member of the detaining power's own forces. The removal of mines and or similar devices shall be considered as dangerous labor. The duration of the daily labor of prisoners of war, including the time of Germany, like, oh, so this is a rank of prisoners of war, right? Upon outbreak of hostilities and parties to this conflict shall communicate to one another the titles and ranks of all persons mentioned in Article 4 of the present convention in the order to ensure equality of treatment between prisoners of equivalent rank. Titles and ranks which are subsequently created shall form the subject of similar communications. The detaining power shall recognize promotions in rank which have been according to prisoners of war and which have been duly notified by the power and which those and these prisoners depend. Officers and prisoners of equivalent status shall be treated with the regard due to their rank and age. In order to ensure service in officers' camps, other ranks of the same armed forces who, as far as possible, speak the same language shall be assigned in sufficient numbers, accounting being taken of rank of officers and prisoners of equivalent status. Such orderlies shall not be required to perform any other work. Supervision of the mess by the officers themselves shall be for this time. So, prisoners of war, other than officers and prisoners of equivalent status, shall be treated with the regard due to their rank and age. Supervision of the mess by the prisoners themselves shall be felicitated in every way. Transfer of prisoners of war after their arrival in camp. The detaining power shall, when deciding upon the transfer of prisoners of war, shall take into account the interests of prisoners themselves, more especially so as not to increase the difficulty of their repatriation. And transfer of prisoners of war shall always be effected humanely and in conditions not less favorable than those under which the forces of detaining power and transferred. Account shall always be taken of the climatic conditions to which the prisoners of war are accustomed, and conditions of transfer shall be in no case prejudicial to their health. The detaining powers shall supply prisoners of war during transfer with sufficient food and drinking water to keep them in good health, likewise with the necessary clothing, shelter, and medical attention. The detaining powers shall take accurate precautions, especially in the case of transport by sea or by air, to ensure their safety during transfer, and shall draw up a complete list of all transferred prisoners before their departure. Sick or wounded prisoners of war shall not be transferred as long as their recovery may be endangered by the journey, unless their safety demands it. If the combat zone draws closer to a camp, the prisoners of war in the said camp shall not be transferred unless their transfer can be carried out in adequate conditions of safety, or if they are exposed to greater risk by remaining on the spot than being transferred. In the event of transferred prisoners of war shall be officially advised of their departure and of their new postal address. We're talking about prisoners of war, bro, okay? Like, such notifications shall be given in time for them to pack their luggage and inform their next of kin. They shall be allowed to take with them their personal effects and correspondence and parcels which have arrived for them. The weight of such baggage may be limited if the conditions of the transfer so require to what each prisoner can reasonably carry, which shall in no case be more than 25 kilograms per head. Mail and parcels addressed to their former camp shall be forwarded to them without delay. The camp commander shall take in agreement with the prisoner's representative any measures needed to ensure the transport of the prisoners, community property, and of the luggage they are unable to take with them, and the consequences of the restrictions imposed by virtue of the second paragraph in this article. The cost of transfer shall be borne by the detaining power. Sections 3. Labors of prisoners. The detaining power may utilize labor of prisoners who are physically fit, taking into account of their age, sex, rank, and physically aptitude, and with a new particularly to maintaining them in good state of physical and mental health. Non-commissioned officers who are prisoners of war shall be only required to do supervisory work. Those not so required may ask for other suitable work, which shall, so far as possible, be found for them. And officers or other persons of equivalent status ask for suitable work if shall be found for them, as far as possible, but they may in no circumstances be compelled to work. Remember that shit. You hear that? Officers, okay, and persons of equivalent status may ask for suitable work. It shall be fine for them. It shall be fine for them so far as possible, but they may in no circumstances be compelled to work. Besides work connected with the camp administration, installation, and maintenance, prisoners of war may be compelled to do only such work as included in the following classes: agriculture, industries connected with the production or the extraction of raw materials, and manufacturing industries with the with the expectation of, I don't know what the fuck that is, machinery and chemical industries, public works and building operations which have no military character or purpose, transporting and handling of stores which are not military in character or purpose, commercial business, and arts and crafts. Hey, arts and crafts. Domestic service, public utility service having no military character or purpose should be above provisions be infringed. Prisoners of war shall be allowed to exercise their right of complaint in conformity with Article 78. Like, yeah, like you understand where I'm going with this, right? Like, so this is your ranks right here. You see that? Like, so it's good to remember that, all right? So, um, okay, so you were okay. So I already read it all that. Okay, so you have two identities, brother, but we'll address that later. Right now, I want to talk to you about a few things. We took part in several war games, brother. Our favorite one, of course, is Baghdad, Iraq. You being you're being sarcastic, by the way. You died and they brought you back to life. You'll see in your medical report. Then it happened in July 25th, 2010. The Afghan War Diaries was released. 70,000 secret documents were released, and we went into lockdown that day because supposedly PFC Bradley Manning released all those documents from the supply room in Baghdad, Iraq. All the emails sent to Barbie, it's okay since she too has a secret clearance that works at Spiker, Camp Spiker. So uh, so here you go. So man was working in intelligence analysis in Baghdad in 2010. All right, man was like, whoa, whoa. All right, so like Army Special Agent Alfred Wilson said data from the computer room in the supply room where Manning was sent to work after punching show woman, yeah, showman shows searches for various WikiLeaks subjects mixed with web surfing that appeared to be Manning's. Okay, over here, Atkins, who demoted the position of first sergeant first class for his failings in the Manning case, also spoke about the incident in which he found Manning curled up in the fetal position in the supply room with a knife at his feet. You know that? Okay. Which all that is look, man, I'm not gonna say it. Anyways, so where am I at? Took part in the war games. Okay, all right. So it says 2010 Afghan. Okay, release went to lockdown. PSC. Okay, all emails. Okay, I already said it. Okay, those belong to your. Okay, so now, sorry, I know I'm jumping from place to place, but those belong to your great grandfather, the B-24 liberating Nazi Germany. All four running Constance photos were taken behind enemy lines in Nazi Germany. The last one is a conversation that we will have to have face to face. Our great grandfathers were also part of the Operation High Jump to extend American sovereignty and find the Nazi base and destroy and recover a weapon. Obviously, we lost, LOL, but nevertheless, thanks to the German supervision that came over, we got, I don't know how many on Operation Paperclip, and Russians got about the same amount. Then all of a sudden, both countries were in space race in a Cold War. But yeah, so this was Maria Slovenia. Hold on, let me show you. Oh man, so this is so like this is their trains, you know what I'm saying? Like um this is in uh confidential. This is yeah, Maria, whatever. Anyways, hold on.